So today I'm going to show you how to get paid in an industry where every single business inside it is legally required to spend money. They don't have a choice. If they don't, they get shut down, which means you never have to convince anyone to buy since they're already buying stuff. The money is already moving with or without you. You're just stepping in front of it. Nobody is going for this industry, by the way. Think people running like a lead gen agency or an AI agency or marketing agency, because when you guys, hear the name of this industry, you're going to think it's boring, but that's precisely the point. Boring means nobody's looking at it, which means there's nobody in your way to just walk in, capitalize on the whole thing, and make it yours. So just like always, I'm going to build you the full offers from scratch so that you can just copy the whole, connect your systems, show you how to get paid, how to scale it, and how to get multiple sales opportunities within just 24 hours. Same process I personally use to make over $200,000 a month while working roughly 4 hours a day. And because the whole thing costs pennies, your margins are going to be like 90%, which means you can pretty much just keep everything to yourself. So like always, let's get into it. So this market is food safety market, you guys. And the thing about food is that you can't just sell it to people without making sure they won't get sick. So when you guys are at home and you want a snack, maybe you grab some chips, cereal, like a protein bar or cookies, whatever. And obviously, when I say cookies, I mean chocolate chip cookies, because if you tell me there's a better cookie than chocolate chips, we're going to have a problem. But you just grab that snack and essentially you just demolish it. You don't inspect it like a scientist. You don't really call the company and ask who made it. You just trust that somebody somewhere already made sure this little snack is safe for you to demolish. And when you guys think about it, it's actually kind of crazy because the company cannot just make some random snack or food or whatever, put it in like a bag and tell people, trust me, bro, you won't get sick. You won't get infected with some weird medieval bacteria nobody has heard since, 1432. There has to be something behind that trust. So who is behind that trust? Well, it's food safety companies. So I want you guys, to think about it like the guy standing at the door of a nightclub, like a bouncer. His whole job is basically saying, you're good, you can come in. You look suspicious? Stay outside. Except instead of checking whether some, 17-year-old has a fake ID, these companies are checking whether your chocolate chip cookie is about to give somebody, again, a medieval disease from, 1432. So what they do is they sometimes, take the food into like a lab and test it. Sometimes they check the factory. Sometimes, they check how the food is being made and stored. Sometimes they might even give them like a certification that basically says, yep, somebody outside this company actually checked this. Now, obviously this whole thing, right, obviously costs money, right? Like if you were like a food company, you can't just do this for free. They have to pay these food safety companies. They can't just do that at no cost because life isn't free. Everything in life costs money, which, sounds stupidly obvious, by the way, you guys, but it's actually one of the, the most useful things you guys need to remember about business. Because every time someone is forced to pay something, somebody else wants that money. And the person in the middle always gets paid more than both, right? I want you guys to really, really remember this business law. So the company making food, like I said, they're forced to pay. So they pay, right, at the end. Because you can't sell food without having, the food safety company's blessing. Now, the interesting part about this industry, you guys, is that these food companies, they keep paying. Because a food company doesn't just pay, food safety companies one time, get maybe like a little certificate and never think about it again, because they might have to test like new batches of food. They have certifications that need to be renewed. Factories get inspected again. So as long as that company keeps making food and selling food, money keeps leaving the food company and going to food safety companies, right? That's like how business works, right? It's a normal business transaction. Now, this gives us something very, very useful. A business has to keep spending money and thousands of companies that want to be the ones receiving it. But the problem is that this is where they hit the wall, because wanting something is much easier than actually having it. That's actually a load-bearing thing to sit with. None of these safety companies, you guys, the ones that want, these food companies as customers, right, get some, magical notification saying, hey, a snack company will be selling cookies next month. Here's their address. Here's the owner's name, email, and also phone number. Go find out what testing or certification they need before another lab gets there first. They can want new customers all day, because wanting customers does not mean knowing who needs you, when they need you, and whether, there's someone else's who just got there before you, right? And this basically just creates the opportunity for you. This is where you guys get paid. So here's what you do. You let the food people make the food. You let the food safety people inspect the food. You simply sit in the middle of them and you sell them access to each other. That's pretty much it. Both of these, two sides want each other. You just sit in the middle and give them that access. The only thing that you need to know is which food company is about to need something and which food safety company wants to sell them that exact thing. For example, let's say you guys like a snack company is about to need like a new certification. Okay, so there are labs, auditors, and also certifiers. And by the way, like auditors are essentially just a couple people to come in and check whether the snack company is actually following the food safety rules. And certifiers are companies that can basically just give them like the official, yep, you passed stamp. And both of these would love to have that snack company or food company, whatever, as a customer. So what do? We sell them exactly that, right? So we just sell what people want. Literally, they want each other, so let's just give them that. I wouldn't recommend you guys listen to these so-called gurus that say, well, just sell them, AI or sell them some AI workflows. In fact, I would block out every little noise screaming, sell AI, sell workflows, sell booked meetings. I want you guys to imagine it as like you guys are walking down the street trying to build your business and some random guy on the sidewalk screams, bro, you need to sell AI workflows. And you basically just look at him for like 2 seconds and you just keep walking. Because nowadays, you guys hear this all the time. All these people trying to tell you, sell AI workflows, AI lead generation, booked meetings, appointment setting, cloud code systems, automated follow-up, whatever the new thing is this month. But it's just a way for them to make money, you guys. They make money telling you what to do instead of actually doing it. Because if we really think about it, you guys, like a food safety owner or a food company owner, this is why I'm telling you guys you want to sell access. Like they don't wake up in the morning, stretch, they look at their calendar and think, you know what my life is actually missing right now? Well, more meetings and some AI workflow. No, obviously. Both of them want one very simple thing. The food safety company wants food companies that are about to need exactly what they sell. And the food company wants 1 or 2 good safety companies that can actually test, inspect, certify, will help them with whatever they need. Both of them, you guys, and I can only say this from experience, have heard, I'll book you meetings, AI workflows before, probably this week, okay? Both of them said no. They'll say no again. And honestly, you guys, I'd say no to, and you guys would say no to. Let's just be honest. So what you're going to be selling them is access to each other. And practically, you guys, here's the exact offer. And you will be charging both, like the food, safety company and the company making food. And I'm going to give you an offer for each and explain why. So for the food safety company, you're going to say, for the next 60 to 90 days, I'll bring you 3 to 6 certified food makers that we've contacted and confirmed are open to discussing testing, certification, or audit support. You pay me from $2,589 all the way to $5,564 for access to these opportunities. You can see it's a non-round number instead of like 2,000 or 5,000 because it just preempts the objection of a prospect saying, well, where did you bring that number? Did you, create that number out of thin air? So this looks calculated. If I bring you somebody that clearly does not fit, I replace them. That's your guarantee. Obviously, you're not like guaranteeing them like the weather. You're basically selling umbrellas. And if an umbrella is broken, you simply just replace it. Okay? So if I bring you somebody that clearly does not fit, I replace them. That's the offer for the food safety company. Now, for the company making food, snacks, etc., I'll find you 2 to 3 food safety companies that actually fit what you need, speak with them, qualify them, and introduce you to the best ones. You pay me $1,997 for the sourcing. If I bring you somebody that clearly does not fit, I replace them. And the reason why you also want to, charge the company making food, because The sourcing costs money, obviously, but I guess like the main problem with like these like food companies is that they have no freaking clue which one of these safety companies actually worth speaking to. They don't know who the hell is competent. They can obviously Google, food testing lab, get 40 companies, cool, now what? You hit the wall. Because they can know, okay, which one can actually test their actual snack, their own snack. Which one is going to take 3 weeks to certify. Maybe the food is already made. Packaging is ready. They have like a launch date. So now what? What do we do? They just wait. So choosing the wrong company can delay the whole damn thing. You come in, you do the filtering for them, talk to the companies and hand them 2 to 3 that actually fit. That's useful. And in life, useful things cost money. End of the story. So again, one side pays you guys to bring them customers. The other side pays you because choosing the wrong company is expensive stupidity. You get paid for removing stupidity from both ends. Same connection, money on both sides. But now we might be thinking, Saad, okay, this sounds cool. I actually understand, but show me how to do it now. Well, you guys' wish is my command. I'm going to give you the whole process. We're going to run the whole thing through Claude Code. Claude Code is basically like an AI model from Anthropic, and it will run on something called a skill. And a skill, you guys, is basically just a set of instructions that tells Claude exactly what to do, so it never has to guess. And to run this, you guys don't need to know how to code, or like we're not going to be, coding anything. We're not going to be building anything. You'll literally just talk to Claude in normal English. For example, you'd say something like, give me 1,000 food safety companies and 1,000 food makers. And it just does it automatically. I'm going to run the whole thing live in front of you, launch everything, show you the actual opportunities. Everything's going to be fully automated and everything will cost you pretty much pennies. And here's why. Because we're not going to be doing what most people do, which is essentially just buy some giant lists or pay platforms like Apollo or SalesNav. These are basically like lead sourcing databases that you pay, for example, $49 like a subscription, and you can essentially just download leads, etc., and contact them. These platforms are useful, but we don't really need them here because just like I always tell you guys, if something exists somewhere on the internet, there's usually a way to find it. Always. You just have to know where to look. And this industry, right, food safety that I just mentioned, has some beautiful little databases hiding in places a lot of people don't know about. There's government hidden databases, certification directories, and more, all public and free. And the one we'll specifically use is a database called USDA Organic Integrity. It's in the US. It has every single food company. They share the owner's name, email, phone number, and also something called a certification number. Now, the certification number is basically our golden Willy Wonka ticket. If you guys didn't know, there's a movie called Willy Wonka, and let me show you actually. Willy Wonka essentially is like Charlie and this is the movie, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So essentially you need like a golden ticket to actually visit that factory because supposedly it had like the best chocolate in the world. So that's exactly our case here because the certification number tells us that this company has already spent money on this stuff before. Somebody inspected them, they paid for the certification, and they passed. So we already know they need this kind of service and are willing to pay for it again. And if they got certified recently, even better, because that tells us something just happened inside that business, like literally just recently, which means there's probably another testing or a new certification that they need. The other side, safety food companies are also free to get. Same thing from free public databases, and Claude basically does everything. So what do you actually need to run the whole thing? Well, obviously you need Claude Code. What I would recommend is the $17 a month Claude Code price. So get this one, the $17 a month. I think that's more than enough. This is basically the brain doing the work for you. You also need the skill, right? I'm going to give you guys the whole skill for free, obviously, just like always. And it's basically like the instruction manual. Claude follows so it already knows where to look. And you also need inboxes because you're going to be sending to hundreds of companies, right? Food safety companies and companies for making food. And obviously one inbox, can't do all of that by itself. I want you guys to think about it like this. Let's say you are a king, right? You guys are kings, obviously, and queens. You want to send a specific message to a whole population in another country. Okay, let's say to another king. Back then in the medieval times, they would use pigeons. Now, if you wanted to send a specific message to, thousands of people, obviously you can't just use one pigeon. That wouldn't make sense. The pigeon wouldn't be able to send, that specific message to the whole population. So same thing with inboxes. One inbox obviously can't do all that by itself. And another thing, since most inboxes are basically like purchased from Gmail, right, Google, and also other email providers like Microsoft, they start getting suspicious. Like they start thinking it might be spam. And when Gmail thinks that, more of your emails stop reaching people. So you split, the sending across multiple inboxes. That's why you need multiple inboxes. So I recommend scaled mail. That's the one I am using. If you go to pricing, you can build your package. Always go for the medium volume. Make sure it's monthly. And obviously you can, depending on your budget, you can go for 8,000 or 10,000. Our recommendation is go somewhere in between. Click continue. Make sure it's Google and Microsoft. Don't use SMTP. It's usually bullshit. Click on continue. Make sure it's 50-50. I wouldn't get clever here. Just keep it bland. Continue is around $85, which I think is super, super, cheap. You get like 35 inboxes, which is nice. They always keep reducing the price for some reason. So yeah, obviously I'm not affiliated with them, you guys. Like I just use it, but this is my recommendation. You can also go for like another one, which is called Highsend. This is new, right? Apparently it's like a Microsoft Cloud partner. Not too sure about that, but they said that. So I'll go for scaled mail. If I had to choose between the two, I'll go for scaled mail because it has been the most consistent. So these platforms, like I said, they make everything easy for you. You just pay them. They handle everything, buying everything, even connecting your newly bought inboxes to a sending platform like Instantly or Smartly. And this is what you need next, like a sending platform. I recommend Instantly. This is the one. Go for the hypergrowth. This is what I recommend because you get 25,000 uploaded contacts, unlimited email warm-ups, unlimited email accounts, 125,000 emails sent, the monthly. This is like basically like a platform that sends messages and emails for you. Okay, at scale. So I'll get that instead of sitting there emailing 500 people one by one like a psychopath. And finally, you need like a cheap email verifier. The emails already come in with the data, right? Which is nice. But like I always say, you guys, like you need to verify the emails. Like they can die. Someone might leave like the company, the inbox gets deleted. Maybe the company stops paying for it. Who knows, whatever. If you email an address that does not exist anymore, the email comes back. That is called a bounce. And too many bounces and Gmail starts thinking your emails are garbage. We don't want that, you guys. We don't want bounces because, again, when you get too many bounces, like your emails are going to start going to spam, which is no bueno. So for this, I recommend any mail finder or Mail Tester Ninja. This is the cheapest one on the market right now. It's like $7. Less consistent than an email finder. Just gotta flag that, you guys, because I've tried both. Like I've tried every email verification finding tool on the planet Earth. The most consistent has been an email finder. Okay, Mail Tester is like, it gets the job done, but sometimes like you verify an email and it shows valid today, and then you go for a walk and you come back, it's invalid. So what do we trust? So for consistency, I'd recommend an email finder. If you go to pricing, depending on your budget, you guys can pick whatever plan makes sense to you. I'd go for the 2K or the 5K. If you, have no problem investing and actually scaling this, you can go for 10K credits. You get 10,000, which is nice. And they only charge you for, verified found email, which is great. I think this is a good differentiator. And that's pretty much it, you guys. That's the whole setup. Claude does the work. The verifier removes bad emails, and the inbox are what we send from and instantly sends everything for us. Done. So now we have everything. Let's actually go touch the wall and do the whole thing step by step from scratch. All right, so I'm inside Claude Code, you guys. As you can see, this is like the cute little logo here, Claude Code. So I'm simply just going to increase the effort. So just go /max. Just to make it a little bit, smarter. So what I'm going to do is simply say load food safety skill. And that's pretty much for now. Food safety skill loaded. Great. So give me 1K on each side. When you finish, please open both Google Sheets and my desktop. Thank you. That's pretty much it. So Claude already built the skill. As you can see, it was fighting Google Drive because it thought, I wanted both sheets in my Google Drive. So I'm simply just going to say, simply just open them in my desktop. No need to use MCP. There we go. Nice. So as you guys can see, we have the emails. We have everything. Perfect. There we go. The emails. First name and last name. Food tests in a laboratory, food safety consultant, certification body, auditor. That's beautiful. So let's actually check some of these. Over 80 years of analytical testing experience. Food testing. It's exactly what we want. Even cannabis testing. Interesting. Okay. Nice. So now what do we do? Like I said, the next step is basically verifying these emails. So in my case, I'm going to be using this platform is called Purple Magic. In you guys' case, you can use any mail finder or, like I said, Mail Tester Ninja. The reason why I'm going to be using this one, Purple Magic, because it has, the same quality as any mail finder. And the reason why I built it is just because I wanted to lower the costs for any mail finder. Because if you guys didn't know, like throughout my whole career, I used any mail finder, and people that I know also used any mail finder. But at some point, we realized that, okay, the prices are getting, ridiculous. Sometimes, like when you're actually scaling this, you're at 100K credits and it's like $800 a month. I think that's insane. You don't really need to pay $800 for credits. At first, it's cheap, like 1K credits, 2K credits. Not that much. When you get to that 10K credits, this is where your walls start crying. But that's the reason why I built this. I built this purely because I wanted to lower the cost for people so they can actually focus on the things that makes them money and also remove the stress of, oh shit, next month I got this any mail finder bill, which is really annoying. Like I remember the any mail finder bill, and like whenever I see that bill, like my heart, just falls through my chest. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to bulk verify, and any mail finder has something similar in case you guys want to use it. So you go to bulk search, right? Actually, it's a verify. So bulk upload, you just drag and drop. Same thing that I'm going to be doing here. So let me just close these tabs so you guys don't get overwhelmed. So bulk verify, let's start with first one. And then here's what I'm going to do. Just to make the whole process faster, I'm going to open 2 tabs. Verify one list here, the other list in the other tab, right? It's much faster. So we put the first one here. Great. And then let's put the other one. Okay. So this is what? Suppliers, food safety suppliers. Food makers now. Click confirm and run. And also go here and click confirm and run. So let's wait a little bit. It's probably going to take us a couple minutes, you guys, to verify everything. Let's see. Okay. As you can see, like a lot of them are actually valid. A few are invalid. All right, you guys. So verification is done. As you can see, total 973. And we got 903 valid ones and 51 that were invalid, 19 that were risky. So I wouldn't send to risky ones, only the valid. Only you'd want to send to risky only if you're feeling a little bit risky. I'm kidding. Everyone gets like a silly joke a day, right? So I'll get the valid. So we just want to send to valid. Same thing goes for suppliers. So this is the food safety, right? The food safety companies, and this is the food makers, right? So we simply just download, and we download. Great. Now, simply, we're just going to drag and drop this verified, these 2 verified lists into Claude Code. Tell it to write copies for each side, and then we're going to send via instantly, okay? So I'm just going to say, these are the verified lists from each side. Write copy for each. Create campaigns via instantly. Push deletes, and I'm simply going to add, like this is optional, assign 200 inboxes for each side. All right, you guys. So Claude is working, as you can see. I already wrote the copies. Let me actually just walk you through it. So, hey, first name. I have certified food makers, snack, beverage, and sauce brands already in production, actively lining up a lot of testing and their next audits right now. I've done this on both sides. A materials manufacturer picked up 3 conversations in 6 weeks and a consumer brand out of 7,000 euros in 3 months. So as you can see, Claude is like using some of my social proof without me actually saying it. In you guys' case, this line, like I've done this on both sides, totally optional. Because again, just like I always say, he who has the thing names it plainly and the market pays in for it. Here, the prospect doesn't really care that I helped both sides before. He's probably thinking good for them, but what do you have for me? So their eyes laser focus on I have certified food makers because this is what they want. It's specifically for them. So you see this line, totally ignore it. And you guys can just delete it. Let's see the other side. I have accredited food labs and certification partners actively taking on new food brands right now. Same thing. Would love to send one your way. Let's check instantly. Perfect. Let's go to schedule. Let's make sure, this is my send-in schedule, you guys. So 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. always, because some decision makers still check their emails during Sunday and they wake up at 7 a.m. and they end up even checking their email around like 7:30, right? So save. All right. Let's see. We're going to wait for Claude to assign the inboxes. Let's see. Still add and delete. Let's go to food makers. I already added a few. Right. Same thing. Same schedule. 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Make sure it's Saturday. Save. Let's see. All right. Let's wait for everything to get added. All right, you guys. So I think Claude pretty much is done because they already added the inboxes, already assigned them. So let's see here. Great. Awesome. Save. For the daily limit, I'm gonna put maybe like 600. And I'm simply just gonna click on launch. Done. Same thing here. 500. Save. Launch. And that's pretty much it, you guys. We are officially live. The whole thing took us, 20 minutes. So right now, the only thing we have to do is basically just wait for the opportunities to come our way, obviously. I'm going to show you guys everything that's going to come in, including how to get back to the people, everything that you need. So yeah, I don't want you guys to freeze when it comes to anything. So yeah, right now, I'm going to actually go for a walk. And then after that, I have a couple meetings, some of my, team members. Then I think I have a dinner at night. And yeah, so you guys will see me once we do have some opportunities. I'll walk you through everything. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys. So not even 24 hours. You can't make this up. I actually lied. I thought it's going to be 24 hours, but opportunities came our way in just, a couple hours, right? And I need to walk you guys through what we got here because this is not just opportunities. This is actual money sitting in our inbox. The first one came in from this guy called Ricardo Islas. Let's check out their website first, and then I'm going to show you how to get back to them. So simplifying compliance for growers, packers, importers, and food manufacturers. So get certified NOP organic. Yeah, they probably give certification to these food makers. So this guy said, can you elaborate on what kind of audits they need? So this is the first food safety company that got back to us, first opportunity. I'm going to show you guys how to get back to them. And you guys can use this whenever a prospect says something and you don't know how to answer. So the only thing you have to do, you guys, is just use something called the watermelon rule. What the hell is the watermelon rule? Well, let me explain. So I want you guys to forget everything about sales, everything that you know about sales. And I want you to imagine you are just selling watermelons or any kind of fruit, okay? See, business language makes, very simple questions sound complicated. But once you turn the same situation into watermelons, your brain usually knows the answer immediately, right? So here's the template, you guys. So you just type in what they said, which is the actual reply, then the watermelon version, which means what they are really asking, explained like we are two idiots selling freaking watermelons. And then the watermelon man version, which is the exact words you send back. For example, you guys look at this reply that we got, which is, can you elaborate on what kind of audits they need? Okay. So The watermelon version is basically, okay, you're telling me you have people who want watermelons. Well, what kind of watermelons do they actually want? So the watermelon man version, the exact thing I would send and I would recommend you guys send is mostly certifications and renewal audits for food makers already in production. This is literally the same thing that we just knew about the whole, industry thesis. Okay, food makers want auditors, certifiers, they need these food safety companies. And the food safety companies, auditors, certifiers, they need the food makers. Same thing, renewal audits for food makers already in production. And I'm qualifying the exact need before I send anyone over. Worth a quick call so I can understand what you handle best. Okay, so that's the first reply. The second one, so this one came from John. So he said, we're always interested in good testing as we bring new products. What kind of testing are we talking about? Oh, it's a food company. Organic white truffle. Okay, so white truffle. Okay. So you can eat this with like popcorn. So this one is a food company, which is John, right? So again, he said, we're always interested in good testing as we bring new products. What kind of testing are we talking about? So the watermelon version is, yep, I'm buying watermelons as I launch new stuff. What kind of watermelons do you actually have? So here's what we send you guys. Mostly product and a lot testing around new launches. So he said new launches. I mirrored exactly what he said. Plus certification support where needed. Sounds like there could be a fit with what you're bringing out. Worth a quick call. Again, so I answered this question, move directly into a call. Okay, so this is the first food company. Make sure you guys are tracking because I'm going to show you who we can connect literally today. So here we have the first food safety company, and now we have the first food company. Okay, let's keep going. Another food company. This one said, we're actually preparing for launch right now. Do the labs you work with handle dietary / protein supplements? So they have a launch. Really? Oh, remember you guys? This is literally what I said. This is what I mentioned earlier. Remember? Right? So let's say, the packaging is ready. They have a launch. So now what? We just wait? So choosing the wrong company can delay the whole damn thing. So that's the trigger, you guys. That's what made them, get back to us. So they have a launch. As you can see, the website is still, they still have they give you the ability to add your email, kind of like a waitlist or something. Wow. So again, here's how I would get back to them, you guys. Same principle, right? So I'm about to open my watermelon shop, okay? Using the same watermelon, analogy. Do your watermelon people also handle this specific kind? So here's what we send. Yes, some do. I can narrow it down to labs that handle dietary and protein supplements specifically. Exactly what he said. So he said he essentially wants dietary / supplements. So, okay, sure. So worth a quick call so I can understand where you're launching and only send the right ones. See? Now let's keep going. So far, are you guys tracking? We got 2 food companies. We have leverage. We're starting to get leverage, right? We can dangle one of these, food companies in front of this, safety company. But wait, we still have another, okay? So here's another one. This is a food safety one. Now this one is a freaking doctor. As you can see, Dr. Ramakrishnan, right? From AGT Labs. So he said, would be interested. What does your schedule look like this week? So a freaking doctor is asking for our time, you guys. Let that sink in. Check out their website. Okay. So these guys are a big deal. When they actually show you the literal certificates, this is when you know, right? So food testing. You see food testing? I want to check this guy out. President of A&B Environmental Service. Is he the founder? Is he the founder of AGT Labs? Yes. So he's probably a big deal. And he built a company and he built another one or something? I'm about to find out. That's interesting. Now, when it comes to these replies, you guys, it's pretty simple. He literally said, yes, I want the watermelons. When can we talk? So you'd say, absolutely, I can make time this week. Send over a couple times that work for you and I'll get one locked in. Obviously here, there's no selling. They already crossed the bridge. So just schedule and book the damn call, right? So So far, 2 food companies and 2 safety companies, okay? Now we have another one. Let me just walk you guys through it. Now this one is a food safety company, okay? So we got this guy, Raphael. He said, "Hi, Saad. Yes, definitely interested. We're manufacturing our products in Jalisco and expanding distribution in the US. So accredited labs and certification partners could be useful for us." What do they make? Okay. Birria soup. What is this? Pork? No. Skip. Where is the meat? It's kind of like is this ramen? Okay, so it's like birria ramen. I know birria chicken. If someone here has had like birria, I think it's birria chicken. It's Indian or something? I love Indian food, by the way. Also Korean food. I'm actually still fasted, you guys. This is almost like 9 p.m. I'm still fasted, right? The reason why I don't eat, during the day is because it messes up with my focus. When I eat, I tend to have less energy during the day for some weird reason. And I only eat like an animal-based diet, right? I rarely eat carbs because it messes up with my gut. I mean, you guys, I'm pushing 30. I'm 28, so getting older. Yeah. Okay. So this is a food company. Great. So how do we get back to them? So he said in watermelon, language, "Yep, I'm expanding my watermelon shop in the US. What kind of things can your people actually help me with?" So here's what we say. Mostly product testing, certification, and audit support for food makers, expanding distribution. So as you guys can see, in every reply, I'm just mirroring what he said, right? Sounds like there could be a good fit for what you're doing in the US. Worth a quick call so I can understand what you need and only send the right partners. Simply answer the question by mirroring what he said, then moving into a call. Okay? Now, as you guys can see, we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 food companies. And we have 1, 2 food safety companies. So we have a lot of demand here, like a lot of food companies that want to get connected to these food safety companies. Okay, so here's the full map, you guys. So on the left, we got who replies. We got Ricardo, which is a food safety company. Remember, this is the first one, Ricardo. So what does he need? Well, he needs food companies that need exactly what he offers, which is audits and certification work. Who can we connect him with? Well, food makers like John, right? This is the one, John, from Forge Fuel, and Raphael, because he said, "I'm expanding, into the US." We simply need to learn what type of work he handles and connect him with either John or Raphael. Okay? Now, where can we make money? So Ricardo can pay us, to bring him food companies that fit what he does as a start. And then we can get paid also from the food makers like John and Raphael. Okay? And then we got, again, John, which is the food company. So they're testing new products. They might need certification help too. So who can help them? Well, a food testing lab / certification lab. Why? Well, because he literally told us he's bringing in new products and is interested in testing. So John can pay us to find the right lab, and the lab can pay us from bringing John. Okay? Now, again, we got Forge Fuel, okay? Which is this one, Forge Fuel Wellness. Okay, so these ones are preparing for launch and already told us exactly what kind of product they need help with. Remember, they said supplements / protein, right? So Forge Fuel here can pay us to find the right lab, and that lab can pay us for the new customer, which is Forge Fuel. Now, again, we got AGT Labs, which is, again, a food safety company, right? This is the one, right? These ones already said, yes, let's actually hop on a call. So they are interested and ask for our schedule. So we just need to learn what work they want more of. So AGT, again, can pay us to connect them with a food company. Then we got Raphael. So he is already manufacturing in Mexico, and he told us the US expansion is creating the need. So again, Raphael can pay us to find the right partner, and the partner can pay us for bringing in Raphael. Now we can understand what we got. But is there a way we can create money literally today or in the next 48 hours? Forget some imaginary, revenue 6 months from now. If we take one food company that replied today, connect them with one safety company that replied today, that connection is worth from 5,586 all the way to 3,561 to us today. And by the way, I needed to mention this, you guys. Remember, like the food safety offer is I'll bring you 3 to 6 certified food makers over the next 60 to 90 days. Okay, so it's not one company, it's up to 6. So when a second food company fits into a batch a safety company already bought, well, that safety company obviously doesn't owe anything new. So they already paid for that slot when they said yes the first time. Here, only the new food company is a brand new customer, okay? So they're the one who pay, okay? And let me explain. So who can we connect? We got Rafael plus Ricardo. Why? Because Rafael expanded into the US and said he needs testing/certification help. And then we got Ricardo is looking for food companies that need audit and certification work. Okay. So Rafael needs what Ricardo sells and Ricardo wants customers like Rafael. So the math here, the food company pays us almost $2,000 and the food safety company pays us from 3,589 all the way to 6,594. So the money collected on average is around $5,000 all the way to $8,000. Okay. Then we got John plus AGT Labs. So John, like I said, literally told us he wants good testing as he launches new products, and AGT Labs told us they want new food company customers. So John needs a lab, and AGT is a lab looking for companies like John. Food company 2,000, food safety company same, average from 3K all the way to 6K. So the money collected again on average from 5 to 8K. Now again, Forge Fuel and AGT Labs. So Forge Fuel also needs a lab, and AGT already said yes to us. Remember, AGT, he said, yes, let's hop on a call, right? So Forge Fuel is just one of the companies inside the deal we already made with AGT. So AGT obviously doesn't pay us twice, only Forge Fuel, okay? Again, from 2,000. This one is already paid, obviously, so we just collect the money from the food company. So it's going to be just $1,997 more. So the total from all of this, doing the math in my head, so off the top of my head, it's probably going to be from 13 all the way to 19K, right? And the margins here, like I said, in the beginning of the video are stupid, you guys, like 90% margins. Like think about how much money we spend or invested in all of this. Like peanuts, right? Like public data, it was free. We just verified the emails. We used cheap inboxes, and then we used a basic sentiment platform, right? And you can create from 13 all the way to 19K. That's stupid leverage, right? But, okay, the golden question. Can this become $30,000 a month? Okay, let's use the lowest price on the food safety side, $3,589. Okay, this is the lowest price. And the food company offer says $1,997. I wouldn't lower it. So we will focus on a few good clients. That's how I would scale it, you guys, literally. I would only focus on a few clients, not 100. So here's what you'd close in 1 month. So to get to 30K a month, you need 4 food safety companies. So the price is $3,589 each. Okay, so that's already 14K. And you need 8 food companies, $2,000 each. So that's already 15K. So the total, $30,000. So to cross 30K, you guys, you only need 12 sales in an entire freaking month. That is basically 1 food safety company per week and 2 food companies per week. That's all what scale is, you guys. It's not some mystical, hidden secret, right? Because the internet, and this is what I dislike, you guys, and you guys might dislike this too, is that on the internet, like a lot of people turn like $30,000 into like some mythical number that requires 100,000 followers, some secret giant AI business, a Lamborghini thumbnail, and 7 hours of morning, routine bullshit. But the wall of reality brings the holy numbers. 12 businesses in 30 days, 12 sales. That's literally it. 4 companies on one side, 8 on the other. It just gets to show you guys that money gets a lot less mystical when you stop looking at the number and start counting the actual people who have to say yes. Happy connecting. So I'm going to leave you guys literally everything that you need, including this whole document. Is going to be pretty helpful for you guys, including skills so you guys can get up and running yourself and get to that, $30,000 yourself. Because if you do, that's pretty much it, right? Like that's my whole goal making this video. And when you do, make sure to send me an email, all right? I love receiving these emails of, hey, San, I'm making 10K right now. So that's the whole point, you guys. And I guess if you could take like one thing from this video is just sell what people want. Okay? Just sell what people want. Take your force, right? Your force that's already within you into the market. You don't need to beg someone to pay you. You don't need to beg customers to pay you, prospects to pay you. You don't need some giant business, right? You don't need to slave away your primordial energy into like a 9 to 5 or like into freelance platforms like Upwork or Fiverr, where everyone is competing for the same small little, piece of cake. You don't have to do that. The whole world is full of money. So just go take yours, right? Because it has been yours since time immemorial, since the time you were born. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Have a great rest of the day and we'll talk soon. Cheers.